Hey guys, it's Tim and I'm back with an arc recap of the first arc of DC Rebirth's Green Arrow series, The Life and Death of Oliver Queen, also known as Inferno. The arc was written by Benjamin Percy with art by Otto Schmidt and Juan Ferreira. The arc began back in Green Arrow Rebirth number 1, where Green Arrow met up with Black Canary for the first time and they tracked down who were at the time referred to as the Underground Men, who were kidnapping homeless people around Seattle. By issue 2, the two of them and Oliver's sister Emmy tracked down the Underground Men to the docks to see that they were putting all these homeless people into a shipping container in order to sell them off. We also saw how Green Arrow operates around the city, using his fortune to not only fund different projects around the city in order to help people out, but also using it to pay off people to be his eyes and ears around Seattle. However, it's then revealed that Shadow, Emmy's mom, is actually working with the Underground Men, who are actually called the Burned of the Ninth Circle. This leads to Oliver being betrayed and left for dead. He survives, however, but all of his funds are frozen and he's locked out of all of his accounts. This leads to him going on the lam in order to stop the Ninth Circle in order to get back what he lost, or at the very least save what he has left. And that's just a brief recap of the story arc without giving too much away, because I do recommend that anyone who's interested in Green Arrow or DC Rebirth read this series. While you do need to have some background knowledge of Green Arrow and the New 52 to understand certain elements of the story, this arc is a very good reintroduction to both Oliver and pretty much all of his main supporting cast. And all of them come across as pretty interesting characters in their own right who I actually was pretty interested in reading about. Which is good, because while the organization, the Ninth Circle, that Oliver is going up against does have a sort of interesting gimmick going for it, it's a fairly generic organization. At least in terms of MO. Most of the twists in the story also were fairly easy to predict and see coming, but all of that together didn't really hinder my enjoyment of this series. The action was good, I felt the story was well paced, and like I said before, the characters all came across as very likable. For the Rebirth issue and the first 2 issues of the series, the art is done by Otto Schmidt, and for the last 3 issues of the arc, it's done by Juan Ferreira. And both styles have their strengths and weaknesses, but honestly, I liked both of them in their own way. Schmidt's art could be kind of scratchy in places, but overall, I liked the expression work that came across with it, and I liked the coloring in it. Ferreira's art had more of a refined quality to it, and was a bit more painted looking, but could look flat in some places. But throughout all 6 issues, I really can't say that the artwork was bad, because I feel that it worked for what it was trying to do. Probably the only major downside to me overall with the story is how they handled some of the explanations. At least when I was going through it the first time. If I were to go through it again now with my knowledge of the end of the story, some of the explanations would probably be a bit clearer to me, but when I was reading them for the first time, some things didn't really click right away, or on the flip side of things, some things that were fairly obvious were explained repetitively at times. But overall, that one problem isn't enough to break the story, which I honestly feel is fairly strong. Overall, I give this arc an 8.5 out of 10. While there were some problems with it, overall the characters and the pacing kept me engaged throughout it, and I'm honestly interested to see where they go with the next arc. If you haven't been picking up this series, I recommend buying the trade paperback of it once it comes out. And overall, those are my thoughts on the life and death of Oliver Queen. So until next time, this has been Tim from the Hybrid Network, signing out.